Welcome back to my GH Fans channel. In this video, I'll be giving my preview of the General Hospital episode for Thursday, April 23rd. The moment that won't leave my head isn't just Rocco pulling the trigger on Cullum. It's everything that came after. That heavy, suffocating silence, like the entire town collectively decided not to breathe too loudly in case the truth notices. I think that's what really hooked me. Not the action itself, but the aftermath. Jason stepping in, taking the blame, like it's just another burden he's willing to carry. I feel like that choice alone is going to ripple through every single storyline we're seeing right now. And honestly, I can't tell if that was heroic or deeply, deeply dangerous. Maybe both. I feel like I'm watching a situation where everyone thinks they're containing the damage, but they're actually just compressing it, like pressure building under the surface. And pressure like that, it doesn't disappear. It explodes. Jocelyn being involved as a WSB agent makes this even more unsettling to me. Because now, it's not just a personal secret anymore. It's potentially something bigger, something official, something that could spiral beyond Port Charles. I think what fascinates me is how she moves between identities. One moment she's just Joss, part of the community, emotionally tied to these people, and the next, she's calculating, observant, almost detached. In my opinion, that duality is going to be her biggest strength and her biggest weakness. When I imagine her approaching Britt, I don't see it as a simple conversation. I see layers. Every word chosen carefully, every reaction analyzed. I feel like Joss isn't just looking for answers. She's testing Britt, pushing gently, seeing where the cracks are. And Britt doesn't strike me as someone who cracks easily. That's what makes this interaction so tense, in my mind. I think Britt already senses that something is off. Maybe she doesn't know about Joss being WSB, but she knows when someone is digging. And that's where her warning to Rocco becomes even more important. It's not just a protective instinct, it's almost survival. She knows what Cullum is capable of. I feel that very strongly. This isn't fear based on imagination, it's fear based on knowledge. And the way she emphasizes secrecy, absolute secrecy, it tells me that she believes one slip could destroy everything. Not just for Rocco, but for everyone connected to him. Lulu, Liesel, Dante, they're all in the blast radius, whether they realize it or not. I think that's what makes this storyline feel so heavy. The consequences aren't contained. They spread. Cullum, in my opinion, isn't the kind of enemy who reacts impulsively. I think he's the kind who waits, who calculates, who chooses his moment carefully. And that makes the threat feel constant. Like it's always there even when nothing is happening on the surface. I could be wrong, but I feel like the real danger hasn't even started yet. Now, when I think about Jocelyn possibly uncovering that Rocco was the one who shot Cullum, everything becomes more complicated. Because what does she do with that information? That's the question that keeps circling in my head. Does she act as an agent, or does she act as someone emotionally connected to the people involved? I think that internal conflict is going to define her next moves. Her conversation with Lulu at Bobby's. I keep picturing it as subtle but crucial. Not some dramatic reveal, but something quieter. A detail, a hesitation, a line that doesn't quite add up. I feel like Lulu might unintentionally give Jocelyn exactly what she needs without even realizing it. And Joss, being who she is, would pick up on it instantly. And then everything starts connecting. Slowly, but inevitably. Isaiah's situation feels like it's unraveling in a completely different way, but somehow it still ties into this overall sense of instability. I think he knows the peace between him, Curtis, Portia, and Jordan is gone. Not fading, not weakening, gone. And that realization alone can push someone into desperation. Jordan's accident changes the emotional landscape completely. The physical damage is obvious, but I think the psychological impact is what's going to drive the story forward. If she turns to Portia for help, especially something as personal as reconstructive surgery, that creates a situation where trust becomes both necessary and dangerous. I feel like Jordan might start asking questions, not out of suspicion at first, but out of instinct. And sometimes instinct leads to places you weren't meant to go. The idea of her going to Germany, following a path similar to what Michael once went through, it feels symbolic to me. Like a journey that's supposed to be about healing might actually become about uncovering something hidden. And if Jordan discovers anything connected to Isaiah, or even something involving Portia, then I think everything fractures again, but this time in a way that can't be repaired. Curtis's anger feels very raw to me. Not calculated, not controlled, just raw. And I think he's searching for something solid to hold on to, some explanation that makes sense of what happened. Isaiah becomes that target, whether it's fair or not. But what really sticks with me is the possibility that Curtis saw Isaiah at the scene. That detail changes everything. Because then it's not about misunderstanding anymore. It's about choice. About seeing something happen and deciding not to act. And I feel like that's something Curtis won't be able to let go of easily. Gio and Emma's trip to New York should feel like a break from all this tension, but it doesn't. Not to me. I feel uneasy about it, like they're stepping into something they don't fully understand. And the idea that someone might be targeting them, it just adds another layer of danger that feels almost disconnected at first, but probably isn't. Emma being connected to Anna makes her more important than she might realize. I think she could know things, or be close to things, that someone else wants buried. And in this world, knowing too much can be just as dangerous as doing something wrong. I could be wrong, but I feel like this trip is going to shift her storyline in a major way. Dante's investigation adds a kind of structured tension to everything. It's not just secrets and emotions anymore. It's procedure. It's pursuit. And I think what makes it more intense is his awareness that the person responsible might be someone he knows. That hesitation, that doubt, it complicates everything. Because how do you chase the truth when you're afraid of what it might reveal? Brooklyn's involvement in the accident, I keep coming back to that too. I feel like she's trying to outrun something that can't be outrun. Avoiding responsibility might work for a while, especially with Tracy supporting her, but it doesn't erase what happened. Tracy's confidence that the secret can be buried, I don't fully believe it. I think she believes it, which is different. And that belief might push her to take bigger risks to keep it hidden. But secrets like this, especially when there's an active investigation, they don't stay buried forever. What ties all of this together for me is the sheer number of secrets. It's overwhelming when I really think about it. Jocelyn hiding her identity, Britt guarding the truth, Rocco carrying guilt, Jason carrying blame, Isaiah hiding something, Brooklyn avoiding consequences. It's like every character is holding on to something that could unravel everything. And I feel like we're getting closer to the point where those secrets start colliding with each other. I keep circling back to that one moment, the shot, the decision, the immediate aftermath, because everything seems to stem from it. It's like a fracture point in the story where everything before and after feels different. Jason taking the fall. I still don't know how to feel about that. I think it's going to protect Rocco in the short term, but in the long term, it might make things worse. Because lies have a way of growing, of needing more lies to support them. And eventually, it becomes too much. In my opinion, the real tension isn't about whether the truth comes out. It's about how much damage it does when it does. I feel like each character is trying to manage their own version of the truth, but those versions don't align, and when they clash, that's when things fall apart. And Jocelyn, the more I think about her position in all of this, the more I feel like she's the catalyst. Not intentionally, maybe, but inevitably. Because she's the one asking questions, the one looking deeper, the one not satisfied with surface answers. I could be wrong. This is just my interpretation. But I feel like once she gets too close to Britt, once she starts uncovering the truth about Rocco and Cullum and Jason, there's no going back. Not for her, not for anyone. And that's what makes this all so tense to me. It doesn't feel like we're building toward a single explosion. It feels like we're building toward multiple ones, all connected, all waiting for the right moment to go off. I think the real question isn't who's guilty or who's innocent anymore. It's who's going to be left standing when all these secrets finally come to light.